In just over 3 years, this small but mighty group of women have created over 400 stories telling Denver's rich history, many of which have been left out of the traditional history books. One of them they are going to tell us about today is what happened to Denver's Chinatown. Here with me now is Rowena and Emily from the Denver Office of Storytelling. And the fact that we have a Denver Office of Storytelling just makes my heart full. I love that we have this. Rowena, I'm going to start with you. Talk about this office that you guys have, how it came about and why it's needed.
Sure. I was born and raised in Denver and recognized very early on that we weren't in the narrative. We meaning marginalized groups of people, minority groups of people. And so I went to the mayor and asked him if we could set up an office of storytelling, and here we are filling in the gaps in the city's history.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you did that because some of the stories that you tell are just amazing. Not some of them, all of them. Let me just put it that way. Now let's also talk about right now. During the 2023 Chinese Lunar New Year, this is a perfect time. I mean perfect time to be talking about our city's lost Chinatown. Talk about this new film. Talk about what we're going to learn from it.
Our latest documentary is called Reclaiming Denver's Chinatown, and it's a 51-minute look at a long-lost area of the city that was destroyed by an anti-Chinese race riot and urban renewal. But it's still remembered by family descendants and a vibrant Chinese community that exists in Denver today. This film actually first premiered at the Denver Film Festival this past November to a sold-out audience, and we're excited today to announce that it's officially released to the public on our website, along with 4 short stories in honor of the Lunar New Year.
I am embarrassed to say I did not know that Denver, the size of this city, had a Chinatown. How did you guys learn of this story?
Actually, we hear that from a lot of people.
so I'm not the only one.
Right, we didn't know either. So actually, in 2021, descendants of Denver's original Chinese families came to us saying that they were afraid that the history of Chinatown had been forgotten. And they have done a lot of research over the years on their own and found some really fascinating things about their own family stories that they didn't know growing up. A couple of those are one family, their great-grandfather, Chen Lin-Su, has a stained glass portrait in the state capitol. And one family learned about how gambling supported their family, and they even won a grandmother through that too. So it's really fascinating stuff. And some of the things that you will learn in this piece is these families talk about how vibrant Chinatown was, even though it existed for a short amount of time. They also talk about where it was located originally and what happened to it. We also hear from a local historian too, who's done a lot of research on this topic over the years.
It sounds like you really have to get first-person accounts or a history through, spoken word, if you will, to put something like this together. What does it take to kind of put together a project that's been almost forgotten in terms of the topic?
Well, every single time that we are trying to create a history that has been pushed to the margins or forgotten, it's a challenge to make sure that we have images or videos or whatnot to even tell the story. So we rely on partners like Denver Public Library and History Colorado to allow us to access their archives, but we also really rely a lot on the residents telling their stories and digging into their archives to share their own personal photos with us.
Absolutely. I have so many questions I want to ask. The first being, I can only imagine the reactions of people who, like myself, are hearing some of this for the first time and realizing this is a large part of our community we just did not know about. Has it been thrilling to kind of see people's reactions?
Oh, without a doubt. Every single time we have a screening, and we held 20 last year, people cry and people laugh and people cheer. And one of my favorite stories to explain how impactful these are, we did a piece called 1,000 Paper Cranes about the internment of the Japanese in Southeast Colorado. And at the screening at the Sea Film Center, who's another fabulous partner, a woman whose mother was in the film and had been interned in a camp stood up and said, our only family heirloom was an army blanket from one of these camps until this film. And that every single time I tell that story, exactly, I get a lump in my throat. But it's, we were so pushed to the margins and so forgotten. To see a story you never expected, to see people who look like you is a really powerful thing, and we hear that every single time.
That's a little hard to digest at first here. I mean, when you first hear something like that, that is something that in the 21st century we're just saying right now. What do you? This is so big, broad of a question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. What do you hope people will learn from this?
Well, I mean, the big thing is that, especially in these times, we hope that people will come and they'll learn about a history that maybe they didn't know, but that they can see themselves in that history and see something that looks like them, so that they look at their neighbors just a little bit differently perhaps, and with a little more compassion and a lot more knowledge about how this city was built and who was actually here to build it.
A little more empathy can always help the world around us, right? Okay, how can people submit, real quick? We don't have a ton of time, but if they have content or ideas, how can they get them to you?
The easiest way is at our website, which is imdenver.org. Our contact information is there. All the films are there, including the new Reclaiming Denver's Chinatown. And we'd love to hear from folks who have story ideas as well.
We have a storytelling whole group here. This is wonderful. Ladies, this has been my pleasure. I wish we had another hour or half hour. I'd love to talk to you guys. Thank you so much. All right, visit imdenver.org to watch Reclaiming Denver's Chinatown and other stories from the Denver Office of Storytelling. You can also find a link there to sign up for their newsletter. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow at 11:30. Have a good day.